What are you doing?
Um, it's hard for me to recall a situation like I had in the past 2 weeks where I could barely do inner work. I had insane amounts of resistance. Um, the only main times that I was able was in ecstatic dance. So I continued the trigger is so strong, it impairs my cognitive abilities. It's fucking crazy. So I got to the point where I was able to facilitate more trust with the org part. I saw him kind of being underground, and at, at times there were some, like the clouds were, let's say, kind of, it was like a black hole circling around him. And sometimes light was able to pass through, and each time it happened, he cried. It came to a point where he started to entertain the possibility of changing. But yeah, my system is very overwhelmed.
Maybe we start there. I could check in with the part that's overwhelmed. So you're the part of Neo that's overwhelmed without you. What's causing overwhelm for you right now?
The presence of the orc part coming to the surface.
Why is that a problem for you? It's allowed to be, of course. I'm just curious why that's a problem.
Something within his presence is very, very heavy to the system.
Do you not like the heaviness? Is there something wrong with the heaviness? Want to
No, it's not that
protect?
I don't like it. It's just the sensation is unpleasant,
Okay.
and there is a cognitive decline. This such heaviness is activated or active.
So he's got a lot of heaviness and that's bothering you. Am I getting it right?
Yeah, and there is it also, this kind of a heaviness brings up the antisocial part, and the firefighters want to smoke all day.
Mhm.
If I wouldn't have the therapy session today, I would smoke yesterday
Okay.
after the clients.
That makes sense too. There's a part that wants to get away from this heaviness. What if for the next hour we went ahead and went towards the heaviness to see if we can help it?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, great. So are you open already to
Yes,
give some space? Great. So let me know when the heaviness is here.
it's here.
Okay. So tell me about you.
So let's just talk with the orc part.
Is that who you are? You're the orc part?
Ask if the orc part is here. I'm not sure.
Okay. Is the orc part here? I'm curious if this is your heaviness or not. No. we might need to meet with the heaviness first.
It comes from me, yes.
Okay. Well, it's good to meet you. And you're welcome here. Tell me about your heaviness.
I feel this kind of a rage and permanent resentment towards anything and everything, and then I have the resistance to the light, but I was able to connect with it to a degree.
Yeah. What was that like? What was it like to connect with the light? That make you more heavy?
I
Seem
can see it now.
uncomfortable?
I can see this kind of a circling, kind of a black hole, and light seeps out of it a little bit.
Hmm. Is that uncomfortable for you, being in the light?
Something in me is resisting it. It's like a combination of plus and plus with with magnets,
Hmm.
and I came to realize that there is some kind of a sense of worthlessness, which is the plus on my side, that perceives that it is not deserving of the
I
light.
I think that might be a part trying to explain it for me, but what if you just connect with it?
Yeah,
Let
I'm
it stay with
yeah.
you. Yeah. Because you matter and you're worth being here.
Yes. So
Mm.
I'm just reacting with heaviness
Yeah.
towards that light that has started to come into my domain.
Okay. So if we can, I just want to stay with you in your domain. And it's okay that this is heavy. And in time, you won't have to keep holding it if you don't want to. Would you be open to telling me a bit about this heaviness and what's bringing it on for you? In a sense, that might mean what's in your heaviness.
There is this kind of an identity that I hold, and connecting to the light will change everything about me.
Mhm. And you don't have to change anything if you don't want to.
I do want, because what's the point in staying in this shithole that I'm in?
Okay. So I might ask you this question: what's keeping you stuck? There is something. What's keeping you from letting it go? Do you just need help? Maybe that's possible too.
I just remember that yesterday when I was at the ecstatic, I came to a realization that there is some kind of a sense of worthlessness around that the light brings up, which
Okay.
is resisting the light.
So is that you or is that another part? Do you resist the light or does something else resist it?
I just feel some kind of a pain in my heart area.
Well, let's stay with that. Let's stay with that pain for a minute. Is that okay?
Hmm.
Tell me a little bit about this pain
And
that you're
with my eyes
experiencing.
closed and in my mind's eye, when I look at my hand, it doesn't look like a human hand.
it an orc hand?
Maybe.
What happens when you look at your hand?
It's like I hate myself.
And for some reason, that is or was important to do. Why do you or did you need to hate yourself?
I don't know. I'm
But
in this
okay,
constant anger and impatience towards anything and everything and anything.
okay. You feeling impatient right now?
Yes.
What would you like to be doing? If you're impatient, there's probably something you want to do.
Don't know. I just sense other parts wanting to smoke and to ejaculate. So to turn away from this heaviness that I'm going through.
Yeah. Well, for the moment, they seem like they agreed that this is an
Yes.
okay thing to do to help you. So, would you like some help with it?
Yes.
Okay. Often, and that may not be the case for you, but often parts want to share about this heaviness or what they're holding, what they're carrying. You may not. You might be ready to just let go of it. Well, what sounds right for you? What would you like to do? You have choice.
I experience embracing the light as dying. But then I
Oh,
was thinking, why not just to die? Why
yeah,
do I need this fucking miserable existence anyway?
yeah. Maybe it would be death, but it might be death to a new life. Sometimes, and I don't know if you like analogies or not, but sometimes caterpillars, right, transform. They become goo and then they turn into butterflies or moths. Maybe there's a transformation that's available to you, and I'm pretty sure there is. But I'm just using maybe in case you're not certain about that yet.
The killer part came in with his humor, saying, "Stop giving gay analogies. Use a phoenix or something."
All right. That's why I said maybe you don't like analogies. Okay. Maybe it's a gay phoenix. No, I'm just kidding.
So now I'm contemplating what would actually happen if I just. I saw half of the movie Logan, and there's a character there that under the light the skin starts to burn, and this is a great representation of how I experience this.
So maybe it needs to come off that way. Maybe your skin needs to come off. I wonder if you would look at that hand again. And what if you put it in the light? Well, we could try a little bit and see what happens. I wonder if that's part of why you saw your hand.
What the fuck was that? It shifted to a baby's hand.
Oh, okay. Stay with that. Maybe it was always a baby's hand.
Out of nowhere, anger came up towards my biological father.
So what are you noticing in this anger?
Fury towards him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part that said he abandoned me.
What if, and I'm just curious about this, if you don't like the idea, that's fine. What if you brought your dad into the light too?
Fuck that guy.
Sure. You
He don't
said the light
deserve to be in the light.
burns. Well, I don't know if any of us deserve it. You said the light burns.
I don't even want to look at him. But why? Because part in me believes that all the shit that I've been through is because of him. He is the reason that I've been made to believe that I'm a monster.
Oh, okay. Well, we have this way to give back what doesn't belong to us. It doesn't sound like that belongs to you. If you're not a monster and you're actually
You
a
need to
baby.
take it slower. The demon is saying that the orc part needs to take it slower.
Okay. Well, you can take all of this in.
More curiosity, less trying to resolve it.
Right. You can do that.
So I'm going to get back to the orc part and talk from him.
What's he curious about?
I experience hate towards him, towards
Work?
but me as the orc, I experience hate towards my biological
Sure.
father.
That makes sense.
But why do I hate him so much? Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have that burden in my system. And my mom wouldn't compare me to him all the time.
What else do you hate about it?
But I'm powerless to it. I didn't choose it.
Mhm.
This guy is toxic as hell.
And that means your dad, this guy.
Biological dad. Liar, manipulator, abusive. I experienced shame that I came out of him. Perceive him as weak and pathetic.
How do you perceive you? Were you the opposite of him?
I have a program that says I am him.
Is it a program? I'm not quite sure what you mean. I'm sorry.
A belief.
Like a program. That's not you. It's something else saying that.
It's an identity.
Did you get that? Identity.
From my mom.
Oh, okay.
So it makes sense why the antisocial part comes up.
Is the antisocial part here now? Or no?
The antisocial is connected to the impatience.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm experiencing this shame and disgust to know that I have these genes.
So it seems like a lot that you're holding, carrying.
I'm getting constant kind of disconnections.
Yeah. The parts might be coming in. So we can either ask
So
them.
if he is inside of me and I'm heading him, so I'm heading me. This is why
Well,
I look the way that I
aspects.
look.
Yeah, yeah, aspects of you for sure. What's that bring up for you? Seems like that is
Then
uncomfortable.
the heaviness. The heaviness is a sense of powerlessness.
Mhm. It's awful to be powerless.
Some part asked me, what if I let go of my dad's energy? I said I can't.
Mm.
The voice asked me why. It comes up is I need it.
Yeah,
Why do I need it?
it's a good question.
So I know what not to become to keep my enemy close.
Mm.
But it doesn't make sense because then if it is close to me, then I become it.
It's probably not how the part sees it down. Part that holds it. And is there anything about transformation in that too? Like maybe that doesn't feel right.
Something is shifting because the orc just realized
What did he realize?
that by quote unquote keep the enemy close, i.e.,
Mhm.
keeping the burden, it perpetuates the belief, the anxiety.
Yeah.
So the orc is breathing heavy, saying, what the fuck? Can just let go of it?
Good.
For some reason, I see the scene from The Lion King where Simba is an adult and his mom and Scar tells that Simba killed his father, and Simba believed it. And then his mom is saying, tell me it's not true, something like this. So in that analogy, the orc is believing that he is this monster, that he is his father, which means he is the monster, and then some other part that is being represented as his mom saying, "Tell me it's not true." Now I saw how Scar was telling Simba that he killed his father.
What do you believe?
I'm having shivers because I see how Simba used his anger to pin down Scar with
Mhm.
the paw on his throat.
Yeah. What are you seeing now?
The orc said, "I am not my father."
Yeah. I'm curious if you would ask him, or you may hear, who is he? He's not his father. Who is he?
I see the current version of my mom. Uh, accompanied by women that I had meaningful connections with, all coming to him, bowing down to him.
Just let him take that in.
And he's crying and he doesn't understand what's happening because they say that they need him.
Invite him to ask why. What do they need him for?
They say that they need his provision.
It's here.
And my current version of mom is saying to him, that all the evidence suggests that he is an advocate for her. And for the feminine.
Look like you're here to advocate for her.
What did you say?
I'm glad you're here to advocate for her. But you have that skill.
So I'm stepping into the orc part perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And from inside this perspective, there is confusion. It's kind of a freeze. And he's thinking, he's noticing that the nastiness in him is gone, meaning that weird drive to hurt others is not coming up.
And what is coming up?
Shock.
Yeah.
He's asking them, why are you doing this? Then they say, because they need him. And he says, need me? Why do you need me? They say that his power gives them confidence.
Yeah.
And he says, power? What kind of power? And then they say, that raw, formidable fire that you have.
Yeah.
Then he says, but this fire will burn you. And then they say, we know that it can burn us, but we choose to put our faith in you that you wouldn't use it to burn us.
Did you know you had that much choice when speaking to the orc? You get to use your power.
I don't understand why they put their faith in me for all I've ever
Ask
done.
them. Ask them. I'm sure they'll tell you.
They look at the demon and they say that they have faith in him. And they see that the demon has faith in me, so they have faith in me. So I see this demon part as being this huge, colossal being. And he says that he has been where I have been.
Mhm.
And if he could change anything, and anyone could change,
What does it mean to you to change?
to use my capability for violence in a way that is responsible, that takes care of loved ones.
Mhm.
Did I just say loved ones? What the fuck? This is happening to me.
Like changing.
There was this joke with my former therapist who's gay that he turns me, it's conversion therapy.
Well,
Why the
or
fuck did I just say loved ones? I think I've been infected with this light.
keep in mind, you get to choose. This feels it's important to let you know that you get to choose what you want.
So this kind of black hole circling disk thing that had light coming out of it.
Uh-huh.
It's inside of me now.
What's it like to have it? Yeah.
I'm still baffled that I said loved ones.
Is that what the thing that's in you is? This ability to say loved ones?
Is it because of this
Speak
light?
yours. Okay.
So a demon is asking me, how do I feel towards all these women? The automatic response would be hate, but I do not feel the impulse to hurt them in any way.
What impulse do you have? Is it to
And I
protect them?
just saw the face of the girl. Oh, saying if she can touch me. And I ask her, why do you want to touch me? And then she says, because it feels good to her. Then I'm wondering if it's some kind of a manipulation. I have just realized I've connected some other party speaking now. I have these situations where I'm hanging out with certain women, and when I experience them desiring to pleasure me in a sexual way, sometimes it's hard for me to believe it, and it's as if it's too good to be true, and then the question comes up if they trying to manipulate me in some way.
Sense. So, what's this mean to you? You're learning about yourself.
So there is the assumption that from this orc perspective, it doesn't make sense that anyone would want to touch him, especially not in a loving, kind, or sexual way. To the point where if it happens, it must be a manipulation in his perspective. But then a manipulation with what kind of an agenda? The agenda would be to make him soften, bring down his guards, so they could stab me in the back.
Yeah. Must have had that happen before.
Happened with my mom, where the only times where I remember receiving affectionate touch from her was after she did something abusive,
Mm-hmm.
probably felt guilt or shame, wanted to fix that. And in order for me to calm down and relax. So the touch has been used, the caring touch has been used in a manipulative way.
And it wasn't for you, it was really for her.
Yes.
Curious how you're doing, how the orc is doing with all this new information. Okay.
The orc is saying to the other parts, are you actually willing for me to soften and then to get stabbed?
You said to get stabbed. Get
Yes.
stabbed. Yeah. Okay. So, how do you feel about that?
Other parts are saying that they would rather have an open heart with the option to get stabbed than the heart being completely closed.
Okay. I hear that. I love the way you hear that, but I'm also curious how the orc feels.
The orc is experiencing that his head is spinning.
About being stabbed.
The head is spinning because of the shift that is happening. And now I saw a scene from Lucifer where he risked his life in order to save his loved one. And there was she was surprised that he did it, and then she tested that. So there's this thing where he gets vulnerable only around her. So there's this kind of an axe that she puts on his chest, and she asks him, "If I push it, will you die?" And then he says yes. And then she said, "And you still jumped in front of this guy to save me?" And then he says yes.
That's what you're willing to do.
And then the orc looks at my mom and somehow he knows that she would have done it. Meaning she would sacrifice herself for me.
Mothers are often willing to sacrifice.
So the orc asked my mom to verify it, to see her response. And then comes up this dynamic I had with this girl about maybe 5 months ago, where there was that very strong cognitive dissonance when she was pleasuring me. Then I talked for the part that was asking, "Are you really enjoying this?" And then she says, "Well," did she say it? She kind of said, "Just when somebody enjoys giving, I assume you could feel it," or something like this. She didn't even try to convince me of anything. She just said, "Trust how you feel."
And how is that for you to hear that from her?
The orc switched the focus to my mom and then asked her, so how did our relationship go so wrong for such a long time? And then she says, because of very tragic events. But it's different now.
Do you know how it's different? Does that make sense to you?
She says, yes, she says, especially thanks to the demon. Then the orc asks her to expand on that. Then she shows the orc part how 2 or 3 years ago there was this conversation that I had with my family, which was very activating and triggering. Long story short, the demon looked her in the eye and said, he made a prediction that it is inevitable for our relationship to step more and more into love. Because it is part of the mission.
Yeah. What role did you, the orcs, what role did you have in that? I'd like to hear from you.
I wasn't even active then.
Really? It's okay. I'm just surprised to hear that. The other part said you lent your strengths.
So now is the orc part, I'm becoming more and more aware of how much the demon part is running the show.
Mm. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Okay.
I was asking myself if I trust him. And there is no reason for me not to. So then my mom asks me, what if I choose to let go of the identity of being just like my father?
what would that be like if you didn't have it? What do you think that would be like?
I saw a part dancing, so there would be more freedom of childlike expression.
Mhm.
The Lucifer part could be more active, meaning there will be less inhibition of the sexual energy. There will be more self energy.
Okay.
There will be less triggering around being petted in black.
All of that sounds great. Sounds good. Are there parts that are concerned about?
There's a part also trying to sense if my relationship towards male to male sexual intimacy is gonna change also. Probably will. So now the heaviness kind of shifted to everything being in slow motion. And there's less constriction when it comes to the breath.
And what do you notice? The breath.
I can see that the light within me is becoming stronger.
So if you stay with that, what's that like? Do you notice?
I saw the face of the Israeli girl, the numerology one that I connected with. Now she looks at me with her big eyes, with adoration. It feels as if I'm kind of dying, but peacefully.
Seems okay. What's this dying like for you?
It's the death of resistance. I'm noticing there is more self-energy flowing.
Hmm.
And I'm still noticing the confusion saying what the fuck is happening to me.
Yeah.
And the demon is sitting in a lotus position saying that it is okay to just be present with it.
Yeah. Just notice the self energy.
It's very weird to be connected to the light.
Yeah. What's weird about it for you?
There is a calmness to it. But it's not naivety.
Do you have a sense of what it is? If it's not naivety.
I'm noticing that my face isn't contracting as much. It's kind of moving beyond the need to fight.
Oh,
It's very similar to after Neo dies and then he's being resurrected. And then when Smith comes to punch him, he's very calm. Like it's effortless for him to defeat Smith. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a similar experience to doing ketamine.
Similar.
Ketamine, in my experience, relaxes the nervous system and brings calmness. So I'm experiencing something very similar.
I'm glad you're feeling calmer. Maybe check in if you're curious at all how those other parts, how any of your other parts are receiving you. Discovered today that they appreciated your strengths. Would you like to know any more how they experience you now?
When I look at my hand, sometimes it's human, sometimes it looks kind of reptilian.
What does that mean to you?
Maybe it's a sign of integration. I have no idea.
So stay with your hand. I would invite you to do that. Just experience that. It's changing. Is it going back and forth?
Mm-hmm. So these women, they asked me if I would like to join them. I'm noticing there is less resistance towards that. Then I ask them, join you in what way? And they say, well, first, by hanging out with us.
Is that something you'd like to do? Hang out with them some more?
It confuses me because I'm used to receiving the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Might experiment with it, play around with it a bit, see how it goes.
Well, I am open to that now.
Are there any parts of you that don't want that to happen?
Some parts are hesitant about it because it brings up the times where they wanted that to happen, but they were faced with rejection. I still can't believe that I said loved ones.
Could be part of the transformation. And again, you don't have to say it again. You don't have to use that term if you don't want to. The great thing it's just coming up for me today is choice. You get to choose. I don't think you got to choose much when you were younger. Because now you can explore, can decide what's right for you, decide what feels good.
The heaviness shifted to being kind of lightheaded.
Mhm.
Also, another thing that we need to finish.
Yeah, how does that feel for you to pause here with your system?
It's okay, I'll continue from here.
I'm glad to hear that. It seemed like that was harder for you a bit ago. So
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
All right, bye.
What a fucking shift from the beginning of the session and now.